Be honest. When it comes to your relationship's finances, are you both really in the loop? Or is one of you flying the financial plane while the other is just hoping for a safe landing? For a lot of couples, especially elder millennials like us, this is super common. One partner takes the lead on budgeting, investing, and long term planning, while the other stays a few steps removed, often just trying not to rock the boat. And more often than not, that out of the loop partner is the woman. Today, we're talking about why that gap exists, the risks it creates, and how you can bridge it with a tool that we love, Monarch Money. It's a clean, collaborative platform that helps couples actually see and plan their financial future together. In today's episode, we'll dig in to the problem, talk about how Monarch works, share real life wins, and give you a roadmap to start using it with your partner today. Let's break it down, that money wall, and build something better in its place.
Sugar Daddy Podcast, yo. Learn how to make them pockets grow. Financial freedom's where we go. Smart investments, money flow.
Hey, babe, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about our new favorite tool that we are using in our own relationship to give us visibility into our money, which is Monarch Money.
Yes. For some people who are not familiar with Monarch Money is a financial, kind of focused like a budgeting app in some aspects is what I think most common people would look at it as. But I look at it as a financial planning app, to be honest with you. That
It's
is,
an account aggregator.
well, that's a feature of it.
hmm
That's not the only thing it does. So I would say it's a financial planning app that is focused and tailored towards the consumer. So it's not like a financial planning app that's focused on the financial advisor being the one that only uses it.
Yes, and I am so happy that we switched because Brandon's financial planning platform called,
You don't need to name it if you don't like it.
okay, well, whatever it was called, I never logged in. And what's funny is Brandon can see when his clients log in and nobody was logging in, which A means that you're not looking at your money. But also, it was terrible. And the reason it was terrible is because it was not for us, it was for financial planners.
Yes, that is a preface. The software is actually very beneficial for me as an advisor for what I'm doing for clients. But I would say, vice versa from the client facing side, it is not user friendly and it's not intuitive as far as how you would actually use it because it does actually have the ability to set up a client portal where they can basically see and tinker around with all the things that I see, but it's not set up for the
I literally could not ever find what I was looking for because it was not intuitive.
No, I 100% agree. And I always preface that with people when I was using it with them. I was like, I encourage you to take a look through here and utilize, pointing out key features that they should use. But I always said that, it can be a little bit difficult
It's
because
clunky.
once you just hop in, it's a lot to look at.
It was too much. And listen, I'm his wife and I love him. And if I wasn't logging in, ain't nobody else logging in.
Oh,
And
no.
that's just the reality.
Yeah.
So we are now talking about something that I'm logging into like on a daily basis because it's pretty and the dashboard is great and it's super easy and it's easy and pretty. That's what I want. I want a good UI, good UX, like a good user experience, a good user interface. And that is what Monarch is giving the people. And so we wanted to share it because more and more we are hearing that people don't have visibility into their household finances. And I think what has happened, especially, we're elder millennials, we got together in our late 20s and we had established lives. This was not us coming together at 19, 20, 21, 22, or even right out of college where it's like your whole life is merged together. You didn't own a home. You just instantly your life is now together and you have all the same bills. Like no, we had our own bills and we were living life separately and then we came together. And so for a long time, we kept our money that same way. But then when we started having children, I was lacking the visibility that I needed because my income is steady, but Brandon's is not. And that's where the problem was, is like, now I'm buying all the things for the kids and the birthday presents and the holiday stuff and da-da-da-da-da. And like money is just like being hemorrhaged from my account and I have no idea what's going on with your money. And I did not like that. So if you're in a similar boat where it's like, oh, we still have things separate, that's okay. even if you want to keep them separate, Monarch allows you to still have visibility into what's going on as a collective, as a household. And that's the important part.
Yeah, because everything starts with, so the first step when it comes to the financial planning aspect is organization.
Yes.
So figuring out all the different accounts you have, where they're at, what's in them, everything that's going on from an organizational standpoint, where your debt's at, where your investment accounts at. That's the first step. And Monarch Money makes that significantly easier. It makes it so easy that I have now been incorporating using that aspect of Monarch Money with my clients. So
And I bet
now
they are actually logging in.
Oh yeah. So now, when I bring on a new client, and I also had my existing clients do this, is that we establish a Monarch Money account and they go ahead and connect all the different accounts that they need. And this provides a lot easier visibility for me because the planning software that I'm using has an account aggregator, just doesn't work as well. But this one works significantly better for me. And then even more so, it works even better for the client. So now they're not having to log in consistently to reconnect accounts, and also a much easier user interface. So now they're actually utilizing the way that I would like them to.
Yeah, because everything makes more sense.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is I don't want people to simply only monitor their money when we're having a meeting or just leading up to my meeting. I
Hmm.
want them to start having these, money meetings on their own and these conversations on their own so that when we're coming to meet, we're not having to dive through all the details because they've already been looking at that. We're more or less talking about the strategies now that we want to implement.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that's important is if you've ever said, "Hey, how much money is in the checking account? Did you pay that bill? Hey, can you transfer me some money?" If you're having any of those kinds of conversations or asking any of those questions, or you feel like you're being nagged or you are the nag and you're trying to just ask questions about, like, "Hey, is the water bill paid?" You need something like this. You need a Monarch Money to have visibility because then you can easily connect all of the accounts and then you can go to your app and you can see every single time there's a transaction, every single time there's a deposit, every single time your 401k has increased in value, right? It's so nice to just have it all in one app and in one place. So if you ever used Mint before, if you liked Mint and you were using it, you will love Monarch.
A lot of the people that were behind Mint are also now a part of Monarch Money.
Yeah, which is why it's such a great tool. And for those of you that are already thinking, I don't have time to set this up, I literally added all of our accounts in under 20 minutes. Like I was literally laying in bed because the reality is you have the apps already on your phone. You have all of your credit card apps, all of your banking apps. You probably have a Fidelity app for your 401k and a Charles Schwab, and you have it all there and it's going to just pull the data. There's a little bit of two-factor authentication that happens, but it's so easy. You literally don't even have to have the cards in your hand to get this set up, which is brilliant.
Well, the big thing here is that naturally, normally one partner is taking more of a leading role than the other.
Yes.
And the idea here is that you can still have that little bit of one person. It's just naturally one person is going to do a little bit more than the other, as we all know in partnerships. However, this is to help bridge that gap
Mhm.
in the sense of one person was doing everything. They had all the logins. They were the ones looking into it. So like the other person, if they wanted to, be a part of that, they had to ask for the logins and all this other stuff. Whereas you can you can set up the account and you both have viewpoints into it.
Mhm.
So you don't have to ask that person for all these different logins because everything is now going to be filtered into one central hub.
Yes. And I would say that let's say maybe somebody listening is a stay-at-home mom not earning money outside of the home. A lot of times the women are the ones who are either managing the money. So it's two extremes, right? Even if
Mhm.
they're not earning the money, they're still managing it. They're paying all the household bills. And the husband is like, nope, thanks for keeping the lights on and the water running. I don't care. Or it's the opposite where it's the man making the money and the woman has no visibility. Like I've had a lot of those conversations recently too, where the woman is kind of hoping and praying that like things are getting taken care of. And the reality is, as we all know, most of the time women outlive men.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's just like a blanketed statistic. Like that's just a fact. Women outlive men. So even if you are not currently looking at your finances, there will very likely be a point where you have to, and you will not have a choice because you might outlive your husband. And so, in that scenario, you don't want to go into the hardest time of your life. You're going to be elderly. Technology is going to be, who knows what it's going to be. All these different factors are going to be against you. You're going to be grieving, and now you need to look into the finances. And a lot of times women then get a negative shock. It's like, oh, I thought we were good, and now you're not. Maybe you owe thousands in debt. Maybe you didn't have the retirement that you thought. I mean, there's so many caveats that could happen. Why not just get the visibility now to avoid something catastrophic happening later down the line?
Also, the thing is here is that they can also help prevent financial infidelity in the sense of where, once again, the man is handling all the different aspects of the finances and the woman is very much hands off. And then, maybe one day in the future, they decide they want to get divorced. And the wife thinks that, hey, we have certain things in place. Our finances are doing, whatever it may be that I thought they were doing. And the complete opposite is the actual reality. So being able to have this insight will prevent that because you'll see what's going on. You'll know, like, hey, like, we have this amount of money in this account. We have this amount of money in the investment account. Overall, like I said, I think it just helps foster a better relationship between you and your partner when you both have insight to your finances and you're having these conversations that we are encouraging you to have.
Yeah. Now, the reality is you can still be shady. You could still open up a credit card if you wanted to and just not attach it to Monarch. I mean, it's not going to go and automatically pull that information. So if you're with a shady person, this episode is not going to solve that problem. However, if you're not with a shady person and you are in a healthy, happy relationship and you just want more visibility for all the reasons that we've already noted, then this is a great tool to make it easy to get that visibility. I personally, I don't want a spreadsheet. I don't want to open up an Excel. I love an app and I love it front and center. It's so easy to use and it really is a clean way to see your money. What they just recently added that I'm loving, and I don't know if you have logged in to see that I've already done this, is, for example, I had my 401k, which is with Fidelity, linked to Monarch. Now, the added feature is for couples, and my picture shows up, Brandon picture shows up, and then there's another icon, and it's like a shared whatever, like a shared icon. Now I have put my face on that Fidelity 401k
Oh, yeah.
so that, when we look through it, we can easily see this one's my 401k, this one's Brandon's 401k. These are the children's accounts, etc. And it's just another clean way. You can filter that way. So if you just wanted to see, the things that are technically yours versus the things that are, his and ours, it's just, again, really nice way to quickly get oversight into what you're trying to see. Are you trying to look at the joint checking or are you trying to look at your personal IRA? Whatever that is, you can see it really easily with that new added feature, which is really nice.
Yeah, I would say with Monarch Money, one of the key features that it's known for and what a lot of people use it for is quote unquote a budgeting app.
You
Whereas
can
when
do
you
that.
Whereas you're able to see how much money you have coming in, how much money you have coming out, and then you can make adjustments to that because you can see the individual purchases that are going on, and it makes it very easy for you to see that. Now, one of the things that a lot of people I don't think take it that complete step further is why I call it more than just a budgeting app, and I actually call it a planning app. It's because it has a lot of other features in it, such as goal setting, also features in regards to projections for investment accounts, and putting in this certain amount, what that could look like over time.
I love that.
So it's not just simply, hey, I'm looking at budgeting as far as what's going on in my household month to month. If you use it the right way, it really can help you, get a full picture of your finances and help you actually start to put a plan in place when used correctly.
Yeah, I love that it basically will show you your net worth, which is great. You can put in your home. It'll pull in actually through Zillow. So you have a Zillow estimate, is it called a Zestimate, I think?
I don't know. And you real estate agents, don't come after us in regards
I
to
know, we know it's
those
not
not being
accurate,
accurate.
but
That's
it
the
is.
best we got for that now.
It's good to see, like, hey, you have uh one number that is your total your net worth, and then you add in your home and you're like, ooh, this looks much
Yeah.
better. So that's a nice thing to do as well. And we know people who've really gamified the budgeting portion because you can set categories, right? So if you're like, hey, we really need to crack down on how much we're spending eating out or how much we're spending grocery shopping, you can set those limits. And the people we know that are using it in this gamified way, they're trying to get as close to that limit as possible without going over, right? And so they're really proud of themselves when like they end the month $4 away from, whatever goal they set for their grocery bill that month because it shows that they're being intentional, they're spending their money in the right way, etc. So there's definitely opportunity to, I would say, crawl, walk, run, right? Like first get all your accounts in, maybe start a budget, maybe you're just focusing on one category. Hey,
Well,
maybe we need to pull back on eating out
what I say first, before you even like go into the idea of putting in a budget, link your information and see
and
where
just
your money is
monitor.
going. Just see
Yeah.
see currently what's going on. So for example, it
Mhm.
doesn't just pull in your most recent statements. It pulls in like, a year's past, like a year worth of financial information for all the accounts you attach. So you can literally see what you've been doing over the past year.
Mhm. I
So
don't think
that's
everybody wants to see that.
that's going to be the first step is that you have to have a real realization of what's going on.
You can also, once it does that, you can go in and make sure that it's pulling things correctly. So, for example, it might show CVS as shopping, but you only purchase prescriptions at CVS. So now it's medical. So you might need to go in and do a little tweaking, do a little recategorizing. But again, that won't take long. And once you do it, it'll remember for future transactions.
Yeah, and that goes in the customization aspect.
Hmm.
So with the dashboard, you can customize it in a variety of ways, even just as far as what pops up first, as far as what you use more often, you can see. And as Jess was saying, when it comes to the budgeting aspect of the transactions, they already have categories set up, but you can add categories, take away categories, rename them, and make it as customizable as you would like to. You can, I know some people that like to get very, granular and have very specific multiple categories, whereas some people they want to group, multiple things together and have less categories. But
Hmm.
the nice thing is that it allows you to have that customization so that you can make the changes that works best for you.
Yeah. And nothing's set in stone. So if you start with 40 categories and then you say, actually, this is too much, I want to, pull back to 10, you can change that whenever you're ready. But I think the important part is getting started, getting set up, and playing around with like what you want to see and where you should be spending your time analyzing where your money's going.
Yeah, and it also has features built in that can allow you to have like, specific alerts and then also make some suggestions as far as from a smart planning standpoint, as far as, hey, this is what our current financial situation is since they have all your information. And then you start to, kind of determine what it is you want to do and they can make suggestions based off of that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that that should replace working with like the Brandons of the world.
No, because I honestly, like, once again, it's one of those things
Hmm.
where it's crap in, crap out.
Yes.
So the software can be phenomenal, but if
Hmm.
you don't know what you need to put in order to get the output that you're looking for, it can cause issues.
Yep.
So, like I said, use it as a tool, not use it as one of your tools, not your only tool.
Yes. Absolutely. Do we want to tell people how to get started?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click the link in our show notes. That is going to get you a percentage off of your
I believe it's
annual
50% off right now for at
subscription.
least the first year.
Yep. And then you're going to create an account. And then you're going to actually connect your financial institution. So, again, if you have a lot of accounts, maybe you start with everything in your wallet right now. Then maybe you go to your investment accounts. Like you can do it all at once. I did it all at once because, again, you'll see how quickly it goes. But depending on what your situation is, how much time you have, set a goal, maybe of a week and have everything in by the end of the week.
Yeah, and from my experience, as far as the accounts that we've been connecting, and then the ones I've had clients connect, for the most part, everything connects fairly well.
Very
I would say
quickly.
the only issues that I've really run into recently is student loan accounts being connected correctly,
Oh, yeah, I
and
didn't add my student loan, so I
yeah,
haven't tried that one.
and that's just because, as we all know, the student loan process right now is the whole department's a dumpster fire. So
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good call out. I did not have that added, and that is obviously a liability, so to speak. So need to keep that in the back of our head. Um, and then you're going to want, if you're in a partnership, you're going to want to invite your partner and remind them that this is about collaboration and not control. It's just about visibility. It's understanding what's going on, making goals together working towards those goals. So invite your partner.
And just to be clear, you and your partner have one account. You don't
Yes.
have two separate accounts.
Yeah, once you invite your partner, they will get an email and then they will click on that link to join. So you are not both setting up your own account,
Like two separate
two
accounts. Yeah.
separate accounts, right? They're going to be linked. And then from there, you can set a shared goal. Are you working towards a vacation? Are you working towards a home upgrade? Are you working towards getting an emergency savings started?
Well, that was going to be mine as far as
Of
most
course.
people's first initial goal they should work on.
Is an emergency savings, fund, which obviously you're going to have in your high yield savings account. We will link our favorites. We love Ally. We've talked about that often. So we will link our Ally referral. And then you will make sure that that Ally account gets linked to your Monarch. So that way you can start seeing your savings grow. And then from there, we've talked about this, is you want to set a monthly money date. So once you've set that shared goal, maybe it is the emergency fund, maybe it is the home renovation or the vacation fund or the baby fund, whatever it is, you're going to want to review what's happening, what's happened in the last 30 days. And what's really nice is once you have all of your accounts in Monarch, having that money date is super easy because you literally just need to pull up your dashboard and you can see exactly what's in all of the accounts, what's grown, where you need to make adjustments, spending categories. Did you spend a little too much eating out? Did you have some emergencies that you needed covered, right? You can talk about all of the things that are important to you by having one view on your laptop or even on your phone.
And also for those people out there that they are the Excel spreadsheet people, this is going to make your life significantly easier because obviously with the Excel spreadsheets, you have to manually update those.
Yes.
So this is going to allow you to not have to do all that extra work before the, monthly planning meetings that you guys would have.
Yes. And as a friendly reminder, always, let's keep it positive. Let's, make sure that we're celebrating the small wins. If you don't have any emergency savings and then you have a 30-day check-in and you have $25 in your emergency savings, guess what? That is significant. You've put something away and you have more than you started with 30 days ago. So celebrate the small things, set those goals and work towards them. And if something happens and you're not meeting those goals, reassess, adjust, but don't beat yourself up because there's nothing you can do about the past.
Yeah, and like once again, it does have a computer face what's the word I'm looking for?
Computer face dashboard. Wow.
uh an interface on the computer for you to use as well, but also has a really good app that you can use easy. So for example, like even when you're having these money meetings, we're not talking about having a 2-hour money meeting necessarily. You
No.
could have a 15-minute check-in or just like, hey, let's just check how we're doing in this area, how we're checking we're doing in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be this big thing. Literally just hop on your phone real quick, pull up the app, check that area, have a little conversation, and then be done and move on, and continue on with your day.
Yeah, a 2-hour money meeting, that's no. Unless you're like having one of the State of the Union, like end of year PowerPoint presentation
I think that's
things.
what people think of when they think
Yeah.
of a money meeting, that it has to be this long, intensive thing where it's like, no, you just a meeting of minds for a short period of time over a specific topic. It doesn't have to be every topic.
Yes. But you do want it to be dedicated
Yeah.
time. If you have kids, you want it to be time where you can have an uninterrupted conversation, which we know is very difficult to have. And so even if it's 15, 20 minutes, yeah, talk about your savings, talk about your investments, talk about whatever it is that you feel important and be prepared, say, hey, in our next money meeting, we want to talk about this. Does that work for you? And have a discussion and then plan for it. Yeah, 2 hours. Ooh.
I'm just saying that's where their minds kind of go sometimes.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. No, we don't want it. We don't want it to be stressful. We want this to be something that
Yeah,
you just start building
and it's
into your
manageable.
everyday.
Now, if you're a type of person, you and your couple are locked in and 2 hours is what works for you, hey, do you.
Maybe 2 hours a quarter,
But most people, that
not a
is
month.
not going to be the case.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
do what is manageable, where you can get things done, but it doesn't stress you out and you don't lose momentum over time.
Right. So keep it positive, keep it scheduled, focus on one category, maybe two. Don't boil the ocean. And once you do this, let us know how you're liking it, what's working for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And if you found something, maybe a feature that we haven't tapped into yet that you're loving, definitely let us know because this is a really powerful tool. Again, crawl, walk, run. But start by creating the account, aggregating all of your accounts, and just playing around with it. I think it's really fun to see your net worth, set those goals, see what's actually happening with the numbers. And even if it's not exactly where you want it to be, at least now you know. Now you have the visibility. Now you know those spending categories where maybe you need to pull back. And I think, it's really powerful to have that information. So give Monarch Money a try. We will link our referral in the show notes, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Sugar Daddy Podcast, yo. Learn how to make them pockets grow. Financial freedom's where we go.